4th down and 6. Olbridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead. And the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Gracie comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions. Live from Great Kills Little League in Staten Island, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2025 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. My name is Joe Foreman, joined on the call all week long by my broadcast partner, Nicholas Bavona, and shortly we'll introduce you to a special guest joining us for coverage of today's welcome parade. But Nick, shortly we are going to meet the 8 teams participating in this year's championship. But every year here on PDF, you and I circle this week on our calendars. We look forward to this championship every year. This is the 3rd year that we are hosting the event here on the PDF Sports Network, and we can't wait to get started.
And we've been treated to some very memorable moments so far in the 2 years that we have covered this show. So we're expecting a lot more memories to be made this week. But not only memories for us, but memories for all these teams competing this week. We saw what happened last year in this tournament and the memories that were made for the winning team South Shore, what they did afterwards in the respective Metro Regional Tournament, and of course making it all the way to Williamsport in the Little League World Series. And that's what's on the line for these kids today. You start this pool play after this parade, you have a chance to go to 1-0, then you continue the pool play for the next 2 times, and then if you get to the semifinals and win the championship, then you move on to Bristol, Connecticut to compete in the Metro Regional with a chance to move on to the Little League World Series itself.
And before we introduce our special guest and get started talking about these teams here this week, let's talk about the upcoming schedule for the week. You mentioned it, Nick. We have our welcome parade coming up next where we meet the 8 teams. They will march into the complex and be introduced down on field level, 1 team at a time. After that, we begin pool play. 12 games of pool play. 4 today, 4 tomorrow, and then 4 more on Wednesday. On Tuesday, they host a skills competition here at Great Kills, the Roadrunner competition, the Golden Arm competition, and, of course, our favorite, the Home Run Derby.
Of course.
Plenty to look forward to during the skills competition. Pool play, as I mentioned, will then wrap up on Wednesday, followed by the semifinal on Thursday, and the New York State Little League Baseball Championship game on Friday. However, Nick, that's not it for us. We are also covering the Softball Championship, which begins over the weekend as well, so plenty to look forward to all week long.
First of 10 days for us here on PDF over here at Great Kills. You mentioned it, 5 days here for this baseball tournament, and then once Friday ends, that championship game, we move over to the softball for the welcome parade and the start of pool play there as well. So it's going to be very busy for us these next 10 days, but wouldn't want to be anywhere else here covering this event on the PDF Sports Network.
All right, I mentioned we have a special guest joining us for our welcome parade this morning. He is the founder of Facebook's biggest Little League group, the Little League World Series Discussion. He had 13,000 subscribers as of last year's championship. I'm about to ask him, has that number grown? Welcome to John Malone, our guest for this morning's coverage.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me.
All right, John, thanks for joining us. Has that subscription count grown since last year's championship?
We're about, yeah, I mean, we're just kind of getting into it now. We're at like 13.5, I think it is. But, as I said last year, I'm very particular on who gets in there. We don't just let everyone in. So you got to know the secret password.
So the question is, do we get the Malone rub or do you get the PDF rub? He doesn't want to answer that question, Nick.
Put him on the spot.
I think our broadcast got the Malone rub. But, John, let's talk a bit about these teams, starting with South Shore, a team that Nick and I are very familiar with. Their third year in this New York State Championship consecutively, at least for us during our coverage here on PDF. Having their home fans in attendance has made them a lot of fun to watch. They are not hosting at their home facility this year. Great Kills takes that responsibility for the entire week, but South Shore, a team still very highly regarded, especially coming off their performance in Williamsport last season.
Yeah, absolutely. And this particular group is also experienced themselves. They won the state title as 10-year-olds. They won the state title as 11-year-olds. So they've been ready for this. They've been primed for this. And I'm not too worried about the home field thing that, they get to sleep in their beds. Most of the other teams do not. It's going to be, and great, they play at a million games at Great Kills, so they're going to have a good comfort zone.
And Joe, I wanted to ask him a quick question about South Shore before you move on to the next team. What's the impact of losing Jake Romero, who we talked about pre-hand, where he was one of the players for this team last year. He was supposed to be on this team for this year, but of course he's going to play for Team USA in Taiwan, so he's going to miss this tournament. How big of a loss is this for South Shore trying to repeat as the champions?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, Jake Romero has Williamsport experience. He's got big game experience. He won that state championship for them last year as an 11-year-old. Came in what was it, the first inning or second inning after they got in trouble, and he calmed them down. It's a big loss. The positive for South Shore is that they won the 11-year-old tournament without him last year, right? They also didn't have Alex Torres, who's now going to take over kind of that new leadership role now that Jake is not here. But they played without those guys and still won. So it's more of a boon that they have Torres as opposed to a loss with Romero. But they've been playing together for weeks, so they'll have to change a few things up. But I think that should give them the confidence that they're not thinking, oh no, we lost our guy. I think it's more of a challenge. Everyone thinks we are down now without Jake. Well, we've won without Jake. We can do it again.
It's funny because Nick and I always talk about it as commentators. Obviously, Nick and I, native Staten Islanders, and we have to try not to use the word we when we're calling South Shore's games because we grew up around South Shore Little League. Nick and I, not from that area on the island, but Great Kills, South Shore, Mid-Island, among the local teams for us here in New York. But let's talk about another team making their third straight appearance in this Little League Baseball Championship here on PDF. Penfield Little League. What can you tell us about them?
Penfield, I really like them. I mean, they haven't seen much of them yet. I'm excited to see them in our first game today. But they hit. It seems like they hit 1 through 12. They use a ton of pitching, so I don't know if they have any dominant pitching necessarily, but when you have a lot of pitching in a pool play tournament like this, that bodes well for you. And so if they hit and keep guys off the bases, I think they're a team that can threaten to get into the semifinals for sure.
And Nick, I have a question for you based upon the point John just brought up. If you're entering this tournament, looking ahead, obviously, to pool play the first 4 days of the week, excluding the skills competition, are you prioritizing those top-end arms, or are you trying to save them for later and utilizing as much depth as possible early? Do you think it's better to have a great top end of your rotation or more depth in pitching?
I would say top end only because we've talked about it a couple times in this tournament, Joe, where when you go into pool play, if you can start pool play off 1-0, you're already at a great advantage over the other teams that you're competing with in your respective pools. So that's a big advantage for these teams. You want to go out with your best arms most of the time in these first couple games of pool play. Now, of course, we talked about it a couple of times already with the pitch count limit that you have to have and how many days off you have to have afterwards. So that's something to also note, because if you use one of your big-time starters, then you might not be able to use them maybe even until the championship game itself. So I think for me, I would prioritize the top-end arms because I feel like you want to get off to a pool play, off to a nice strong start, and at least put yourselves in a position where you could get one step closer to the semifinal game and, of course, getting yourself to the championship game on Friday.
And we've spoken about South Shore and Penfield, two teams that we've covered here on PDF the last 2 seasons. Let's talk about the other 6 teams that are new to us here on PDF, starting with St. James Smithtown. John, what can you tell us about them?
I think this is a team that, they're from Eastern Long Island. This is a team that it's somewhat. I think people are talking about them. The Eastern Long Island teams haven't had a ton of success in the state tournament. I think Plainview is one of the only teams to win from that section, and it was back in 2017. But this team, they didn't give up a single run in sections. They seem like they're built for this. I know that they got bigger and stronger from last year. I'm interested to see how they look against as we mentioned, the powerful offense of Penfield. So I'd like to. That's kind of going to be a pitching versus offense matchup in that first game, and that'll tell us a lot about how both their weeks will go.
Another team new to this tournament for us here on PDF, Saugerties Little League. John, what can you tell us about them?
Saugerties, you're talking about top-end pitching. They have a player in Cam Lyons, one of the bigger 12-year-olds I've seen, especially since the age change. He's definitely over 6 foot. He walked past me. Might be my size. Might be like 6 foot, 200 pounds. I'm kind of shying myself 100 pounds there. I'm about 300 now. But, he's a big boy. But the thing is he's not eligible today. He pitched on Wednesday in their sectional championship win. He's not eligible today. And you mentioned that top-line pitching and wanting to get off to 1-0. If they have a problem today without him, and they're going to need to pitch him in game 2, and makes it a little harder to set up that semifinal or final pitching. We'll see what Saugerties ends up doing. They do have 5 11-year-olds on their team as well. It's interesting to see what type of experience they bring.
And you mentioned their matchup today against White Plains, another team that we have not yet covered here on PDF, but that matchup presents a very unique scenario where the two teams played a 5-inning game and an 8-inning game in their most recent matchup heading into the state championship. How does that factor in here on the first day of pool play?
Yeah, so White Plains is in a similar boat to Saugerties in that they pitched guys out on Tuesday and Wednesday, but White Plains is a team that has some good pitching depth, and they have a really good lineup. That you were talking about home teams of South Shore and Mid-Island and Great Kills for you guys. White Plains is my home team. They're in my district. My mailing address my whole life has been White Plains, New York, so that's my home team. But I think today's game with Saugerties is going to be huge for who's more comfortable going through pool play.
Yeah, you talk about that White Plains team, John. 5 hitters at the top of their lineup hitting .452, so that already shows how big they have been so far getting into this tournament. Meanwhile, also Leo Carroll and Fraylin Cruz each with 4 home runs. So, Joe, we've seen that power hit here at Great Kills a couple times. Maybe we expect some fireworks here early on in this tournament.
And for those who are familiar with our past coverage, we have stepped it up just a bit this year here at Great Kills. We've added a third camera angle, pitcher-batter, infield, and outfield, now all separate cameras. The only thing is that if the ball is hit toward us in right field, I will have to try and make a very dramatic movement to swing the camera toward the fence. That is our only blind spot just below our perch.
I will hold your ankles over the edge. Don't worry. Just go get the shot. That's what's most important. Don't worry about falling.
We're going to have to watch out for some foul balls as well. We're definitely in prime foul ball territory.
Don't say that, Nick. Don't say that.
I know.
And the sun now shining brightly over Great Kills. As we mentioned before, on our way in, we didn't mention it on the broadcast, however, the weather was a bit overcast and the skies looked rather threatening when I left from Matawan, New Jersey this morning. But here now, with just minutes to go before the start of our welcome parade, we could not ask for better weather. Let's see if we can cover our final 3 teams before these teams are introduced. Scotia Glenville. John, what can you tell us about them?
So this is one of their first time in like 50 years, I think, to make in the state tournament. They're really excited to be here. They're kind of led by an 11-year-old themselves, and Logan Francis. He's been really awesome, and I think he's just getting more and more confidence as the tournament's gone on. And maybe he gets the ball today. They're a team that's intriguing for me.
Another team, first time here on PDF, Union Endicott. What's the scouting report on them?
So they are from the same district, and their kind of big rivalry is Maine Enwell, the world champs from 2016. They battle each other in district a lot. Union Endicott, they battled them again this year. They beat them 2-1 in their district final. But they have 3 losses. They lost in district twice. They lost in sectionals. They won a couple absolute slugfests in sections, back and forth games, 10-9, 13-11. So we'll see what they have. They come from a very strong area, but we'll see if this is one of the stronger teams from there.
And finally, their opponent, Port Washington, our last team here at the New York State Championship. What do we expect from them?
Port Washington, they come from. This team was pretty good, I believe, as 10s and 11s. They met up with the perennial power Massapequa in those age groups. Massapequa didn't get out of their district this year. Port Washington feasted on that and kind of made their way through the section pretty unscathed. They're a scrappy team. They kind of play 1 through 12. They don't have any real superstars, but they're a team that's ready to go.
All right, with that, we are going to head to a quick break ahead of the introduction of our teams. But before we do, we have a message for you here on PDF regarding how you can watch this week's New York State Little League Baseball Championship. You can enjoy the entire New York State Little League Baseball Championship all week long, completely free, right here on YouTube if that's where you're watching. But if you do grow tired of those pesky YouTube ads, or you just want to support Great Kills Little League and the PDF Sports Network, you can purchase our premium pass on Boxcast. Enjoy the entire week slate live and on demand, free of YouTube ads, and connect with Nick and I via the Boxcast live chat for just $5. That gets you the entire week. All proceeds from sales of our premium pass go to Great Kills Little League and the PDF Sports Network. You can purchase an entire week of premium access for just $5 by visiting the link in the description of our YouTube videos or by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. Come join Nick and I on Boxcast and begin your ad-free viewing experience now. We thank everyone for their kind words and support during each of the last 2 seasons and hope you'll join us on Boxcast for the rest of the 2025 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. And as we await the introduction of our teams, let's hear from some of the sponsors that make this tournament possible and throw it to a quick break.
Awards and Trophy Center is proud to sponsor this week's New York State Little League Championship. Located at 1600 Highland Boulevard on Staten Island, we pride ourselves in not only building trophies, but building relationships as we service our community and treat you like family. Your event and its achievements deserve the best. That's why Country Awards and Trophy Center is ready to work with all of our clients to make your event a memorable one, with awards, trophies, and gifts that make a lasting impression. Come see why we love our customers and they love us. Visit us today.
New York State Little League Championship is proud to have Dave & Buster's as a proud sponsor. Where are you going after the game? There's only one place with delicious food, ice-cold drinks, games on the big screen, and fun for the whole family. Food and drink specials are available all week with the latest video games and the biggest arcade on the island. Redeem tokens for great prizes and come back often because Dave & Buster's is the place to be for game day and all the days in between. Turn on the fun with Dave & Buster's on Staten Island.
The Staten Island Ferry Hawks are proud to be a sponsor of this year's New York State Little League Championship because one championship organization deserves another. Come check out another amazing season with us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark with great ticket and group deals, theme nights, and fireworks displays. Good luck to all of our teams this week from your friends at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. We'll see you at the game.
NYS Industrial is your all-in-one supply and tool store for commercial, industrial, and domestic industries. A leader in HVAC supply stores, K&S provides various building and maintenance supplies for office buildings, industrial plants, schools, homes, and more. We also specialize in getting our customers hard-to-find items. If you're looking for HVAC supply stores that also offer anything else you might need, look no further than K&S Industrial. If they make it, we'll get it. K&S Industrial.
When it comes to sports, why be good when you can be legendary? At Legend Sporting Goods in Brooklyn, we service the community with only the best custom apparel, embroidery, and service, specializing in youth sports, so that the leaders of today become the legends of tomorrow. We're proud to support all of this week's great athletes and invite everyone to check us out and make us a part of your team. Come see why Legend Sporting Goods is in a class by itself. Visit us online or call us now.
Curing a rare heart disorder with a short life expectancy. Challenge accepted. Performing a life-changing brain surgery without a single incision. Challenge accepted. Helping a new mom give birth and receive a new liver. Challenge accepted. At Northwell's North Shore University Hospital, the nation's most brilliant minds come here to conquer healthcare's greatest obstacles. so that whatever comes through our doors, well, challenge accepted. North Shore University Hospital. Raise health.
Staten Island Academy is the only pre-K through 12 independent school on Staten Island.
And it really is designed for students to go through the entire educational experience in one setting.
What the Academy seeks to do is take every student to accelerate their gifts and their strengths and to find those gifts and strengths that are yet unknown.
I think the community is something that you can't match anywhere else. It just makes you feel comfortable doing what you like to do every single day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. My name is Rob Pascal, the president of Great Hills Little League. My board of directors and I take great pleasure in welcoming you all to the 2025 New York State Tournament. Before we get started, I'd like to have a moment of silence for the two ADAs that we have lost this season. Michael Collini, former president at Staten Island Little League, also an ADA. And also our beloved Miss Susan Adone from Great Hills Little League, who started our Challenger division. So please, let's give them a moment of silence. Thank you. It's truly an honor to be selected to host an amazing tournament like the New York State Tournament. And just as big as an honor to host the Eastern Regional 10-year-old softball tournament right here in our own backyard starting Friday, July 25th. We at Great Hills all owe that thanks to our administrator, Frank Cambria, for selecting us for this amazing tournament. It's a tremendous honor. Thank you, Frank. I also want to thank Assistant District Administrator, Great Hills Little League Board of Director, John Singari. Without John, we at Great Hills cannot host these tournaments. John has always gone above and beyond to make things right for these awesome ball players, from keeping up with the odds and ends of the complex, setting up gift bags, which has some really great stuff in there, sponsorships, scheduling, websites, live streaming, the skills competition, Ferry Hawk Stadium tickets, and I can go on and on and on, but Frank Cambria needs to speak, and we could be here all day with that one. All kidding aside, please, when you see John and Frank, make sure you say thank you, because they went over the top for your children. So before I bring out Frank Cambria again, I want to say welcome to Great Hills Little League, and let's play some baseball. So now, let's bring up our District 24 District Administrator, Frank Cambria. Change of plans, sorry. your New York State baseball team for 2025. Starting first, Union Endicott, your Section 1 East champion. Manager, John Couch. Coaches, Section 1 West champion. Manager, Michael DiPaolo, Kevin DiGiacomo, and Brian Bessett. Your Section 2 North champion, Scotia Glenville Little League. Manager, John Quinn. Coaches, Pete Colbeck. Coach Joe Bowden. And now your Section 2 South champion, Socrates Little League. Manager, Mike Puglisi. Coaches, Vinny Lobo and Mike Hunter. And now, your Section 4 East champion, St. James Smithtown Little League. Manager, Scott Santelli. Coaches, Dave Saxon and Ed Kidd. Section 3 North champion, White Plains Little League. Manager, John Breeze. Coaches, Gary Van Fall and George Silvera. And now your Section 4 West champion, Port Washington Little League. Manager, Eric Pritzker. Lawrence Lafferty and Vincent Tancredi. All right. And your Section 3 your Section 3 South champion, Staten Island Dog, South Carolina. Manager, Sal Apollo. coaches Alex Torres and Sal Barone. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these champions a big round of applause! We're gonna be louder than Alright, let's try this again. Now I'd like to introduce in District 24, District Administrator Frank Cambria. Thank you, Rob. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of the New York State Little League President Danny Cabello and his executive staff, we welcome you to the 2025 New York State Little League Tournament. I am District 24 Administrator Frank Kemp. Standing before us are the 8 best Little League Division teams in New York State. Just to show you how impressive to get to this point, there are 38 districts, 400 leagues, and 1,300 teams on this field are the final 8. Now let's hear it. Let's give them a real nice round of applause. All right, let's meet the teams. From Section 1, East Champions, Union Endicott, President Steve Resman, Dish Miller, and this Section Administrator Todd Parliamentary. Section 1 West Champions, Penfield Little League, President Dan Wright, and the same Section Administrator Todd Parliamentary. Section 2 North Champions, Scotia Glenville Little League, National, President Matt Loman. Section 2 South Champions, Saugerty, President Jay Morris, and Section Administrator David Jellick. Section 4 East Champions, St. James Smithtown, President Tina Russo. Section 4 West Champions, Port Washington, President Eric Henneman. Section Administrator Jimmy Barnes. And Section 3 North White Plains Little League, President Kevin Stokes. Section 3 South Shore Little League, President John Nicholau. Section Administrator Chris Ameliosa. Let's have a nice round of applause for all our champions. All right, I'd like to bring out Krishna Rivera to recite the Little League pledge.
Trusting God, I love my country and respect its law. I will play fair and strive to win, but when I lose, I will always do my best.
Great job there. All right, this is the next one. The Little League Parent Volunteer Pledge. I'd like to bring out Sal Iacona to recite the pledge. Come on down. I will teach all children to play fair and do their best. I will positively support all managers, coaches, and players. I will respect the decisions of the umpires. I will praise a good effort despite the outcome of the game. Thank you, Sal. Great job. I'd like, at this moment, to have everybody rise and remove their hats. We're going to do the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Great job. That song was sung by Emily Berry. She's a player in the Great Hills Little League, and she did a great job there. That's nice. You know, what's great is we live in a free country, the greatest country in the world. Every day you just wake up, you should be thanking God that we're here to do this and be able to go out and play baseball, enjoy ourselves, earn a good living, and do what we got to do. So, you know, we got to thank our military and all the people that strive to keep our country safe. So with that said, and I'd like to bring up Councilman Representative Frank Morano. Come on down, Frank.
Thank you. I don't usually get intro music. I appreciate it. So my name is Frank Rapicciolo. I'm Chief of Staff of newly elected City Councilman Frank Morano, who represents the South Shore. Just on his behalf, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. We especially want to thank all the players. This is a really big deal for you guys to get here. Hundreds of teams, hundreds of players. I was going to say don't get a big head about being here, but I don't think the Bulls got that memo. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. This is going to be a great day of baseball. Obviously, we're kind of rooting for one team a little bit more than everybody else, but we're hoping that everybody has a great day. Councilman just wanted me to do one little quick thing. He said, remind the players that Hall of Famers fail 7 out of 10 times at the plate. So keep your heads up, support your teammates, give it your all, because what you learn out there matters just as much as it does on the scoreboard. So thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Good luck, have a safe day, and thank you to these gentlemen for putting all this together and keeping the field in such tip-top shape. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, I want to thank Dave Pizzoli, who took the big job of hosting the New York State Boys Little League baseball tournament, and they also took on the East Region next week. So let's give them a nice round of applause. President Matt Pascal and his board of directors. Let's all remember Little League is about teamwork, sportsmanship, making friends, and having fun. It allows us to build great memories for our children, parents, and grandparents. So let's keep it fun for the children. I'd like to introduce some special people that helped us along the way. I'm just going to say their names. for District 24. The 6 presidents, Rob Pascal, Vinny Nicolo, John Pleasant, Dennis Thompson, Chris Bruno, Nikki Sandarella. Tournament coordinators, John Singera, who put most of this together. ADA's Ben Bethambala, Candace Graham, Angel DeFilippis, Joe Garcia, Dave Fernandez, Steve Burton, Scott Kaminsky, Joe DeMayo, Brian Kelly, Darren Marcel, John McClure, Jeremy Vincent, and Steve Burton. Let's give them a nice round of applause, all these people. We have a great weekend planned. Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday will be pool play games. Thursday, semi-final games, which will be the top 2 teams from each pool. And Friday, the championships for the state will face off. Tuesday, players will have a chance to participate for their teams. Team skills, fastest run on the base, most accurate throw, and finish with the home run derby. That's a great day. And we cap it off by all the teams being honored at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks game on. And march on the field as a parade with their banners toward the stadium, inside and out, and they'll be able to get autographs from the players. I want to wish all the teams the best of luck. Have a great tournament, and I'm going to bring back our host, Mr. Rob Pascal. Come on down. Don't forget to thank these guys, because they go through a lot of work to make this happen. Thank you.
All right. I didn't know I was getting called back, but I'll make it short and sweet. Again, thank you for everyone for being here and supporting Great Kills Little League and all the leagues and supporting all the leagues. Thank you all. Let's play some baseball!
Joe Foreman and Nicholas Pavona back with you from the New York State Little League Baseball Championship. You were just watching our welcome parade as we met the 8 teams that will be competing for a state title this week. We have about 1 hour to go before the start of our first pool play game of the day. First pitch in that game is scheduled for 11 a.m. Our first game of the day will feature South Shore Little League taking on Scotia Glenville Little League. Or not. That is page 2. It is St. James Smithtown Little League taking on Penfield Little League in game 1. So
just looking ahead a little
that
bit.
Half of the pool gets started first. That will be the national pool. The American pool gets started after that. So the South Shore game will be our second game of the day. Our first game of the day, once again, St. James Smithtown Little League taking on Penfield Little League as part of the national pool. So stay right here in the same place if you're watching on YouTube for free coverage all week long. If you'd like to join us ad-free on Boxcast, you can check out the link in our description and scan the QR code on your screen. $5 gets you access to the full week's worth of streams, free of all YouTube ads. You can also chat with Nick and I in the live chat. A special thank you to our guest during the welcome parade, John Malone. Be sure to check out his Facebook page if you are granted access to the Little League World Series discussion over on Facebook. John, thanks for joining us. Any final words before we sign off?
I can't imagine what it's like as one of the 12-year-olds waiting through that, because I am itching for baseball. I imagine they are too. Let's get going.
All right, we are excited to get started here from Great Kills, but for the next 30 minutes, Nick and I are going to step off headset. What we are going to do in about 30 minutes is begin a video loop showing everyone how to watch all week long. Many will be tuning in for the first time ahead of our first game of pool play. So at about 10:30, you will see the video loop that ran before our welcome parade airing once again. Then at approximately 11 a.m., Nick and I will come back on headset. We'll let you know the starting lineups for our first game of the day, and we will begin our week's worth of coverage with Game 1 of pool play. St. James Smithtown Little League takes on Penfield Little League, coming up next right here on the PDF Sports Network.